This is TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, and I want to let you know that the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. Over 2 million men worldwide have joined the movement for all their below-the-waist needs. Engineers for the last 18 months have perfected the greatest hair trimmer ever created, the Lawnmower 3.0. The third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology pioneered by Manscaped. You can choose the Lawnmower 3.0 as well as other items by going to manscaped.com, and you can also save 20% by using the promo code State of Saints. That's manscaped.com. Use the promo code State of Saints and save 20% on the Lawnmower 3.0 as well as other Manscaped items. That's manscaped.com. Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your time. Hope everybody is safe out there. Hope everybody is staying warm. And I'm back once again. I've been a little bit under the weather for the last few days. You probably noticed. And I do apologize. I'm going to apologize in advance, because I might be coughing just a tad bit throughout this show. I've been dealing with some sinus issues and occasional coughing. So thank you all so much for bearing with me. Also want to give a shout out to everybody that checked out my interview with After Further Review on ESPN 104.5, Matt Moscona. That was a good interview, man. So thank you all for supporting that. And also thank you to all those out there that's been supporting the State of the Saints podcast by purchasing items from Manscaped. Manscaped.com is the official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast. And I do have a little bit of a contest going on right now, giving away prizes to individuals that are purchasing items on Manscaped.com using the promo code State of Saints. Now, I have about 8 prizes that I still have available right now. So this is the thing, no matter if you purchase an item big or small, all right? If you go to manscaped.com and you use the promo code State of Saints and you snapshot that you use the promo code, I will send you a gift, courtesy of the State of the Saints podcast. And I want to give a shout out to Graylin Cole, who also was the first recipient of the prize. So like I said, I have about 8 available. So you can go to manscaped.com. Like I said, you don't have to purchase a huge item, rather it's big or small. Use the promo code State of Saints and, put yourself in a running. Just go ahead and send it to me, inbox or email me that you actually made the purchase, and I'll send you a gift courtesy of the State of the Saints podcast. But thank you all so much. Now that we got all of the church announcements out of the way, it's time now to talk about the topic of the day. All right, it's time to talk about the topic of the day, man. Like, I thought about this last night when I was at work, man. I thought about this last night, and I felt like the New Orleans Saints, they've been doing an outstanding job for the past couple of years in the NFL draft, right? They've been giving us hit after hit after hit, great quality players. But as I look around the NFC South, I notice a little bit of a trend, and I've noticed that the New Orleans Saints have not been a part of this trend. And the trend is the New Orleans Saints have yet to draft a stud linebacker. Like, have you guys noticed that? Like, you look around the NFC South, And for the past couple years, the NFC South has produced some of the best linebackers. I mean, some of the best linebacker play in the NFL. Like you look at the Carolina Panthers when they had Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly, right? Those were two really good linebackers. Luke Kuechly, if he didn't have those concussion issues, he probably would still be playing today and still being a stud that he was. You look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right now they have Levante David and Devin White. And they even at one time had Quan Alexander. So those were three stud linebackers. Then you look at the Atlanta Falcons and you look at Debo Jones, right? Deion Jones. But the New Orleans Saints, they have done a good job in the past by going out in free agency and finding guys like Jonathan Vilma and Demario Davis. But they yet to draft a guy that is a game record. And I just feel like that's a direction that the New Orleans Saints need to go in this year's draft. Now, Matt Moscona was on the show, and some of you have probably seen the interview. And if you have not already, check it out. It's available right now on youtube.com. Search the State of the Saints podcast. But he talked about he felt like the New Orleans Saints need to draft a wide receiver, a guy that can be a burner, something that the Saints have been missing for years. I mean, you probably have to go back to Robert Meacham, Devery Henderson, maybe. So he feels like maybe having that burner and maybe somebody like Jameis Winston can come in and deliver that guy the football, and that's cool and all. But I would love for the New Orleans Saints to have a disruptor, like a guy that can play sideline to sidelines and just wreak havoc. Like you think about Devin White in that divisional round of the NFC game, the Saints versus the Bucs. Guy was all over the field. He was forcing fumbles. He was catching interceptions. He was tackling guys in the backfield. And it was so frustrating to watch as a fan. And then you go to Carolina and you watch Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis over the years frustrate you by tackling guys like Kamara, tackling guys like Ingram in the backfield. It frustrated you. You watch guys like Deion Jones, who just constantly catches interceptions off Drew Brees and pick sixes. And we all know about that classic late game interception that he caught in the end zone to seal a game for the Atlanta Falcons that the Falcon fan just so happen to always want to put up when they trying to get bragging rights on the Saints. And that frustrates you. But I'm just wondering to myself, why can't the New Orleans Saints go out there and scout a guy at the linebacker position? And I understand that they win the third round and they got Zach Bond, but no disrespect to Zach Bond, but he's not a guy that you just think about is going to be a game record, all right? I look at him maybe coming in, being a serviceable linebacker, maybe playing his role, doing his thing. Nothing wrong with that. But I think the New Orleans Saints need a stud, all right? They need a stud. They need a Demario Davis type player, in his infancy, all right? Demario Davis, as good as he is, I mean, he's up there in age, man. So you know eventually the game is going to drop off, okay? As good of a leader that he is, as good as a solid tackler that he is, I would love for the New Orleans Saints to draft a guy that we can appreciate and we can see him emerge. Like from the start of him coming in, we know for a fact that this guy has great upside and we are looking forward to seeing this guy play. I don't feel like the New Orleans Saints had that. So you got to go back to the Dome Patrol. Like, seriously, you got to go back to the Ricky Jackson, Sam Mill, Pat Swilling days. You got to go back to those days where you can actually find young studs like that, where you found guys that were just out there wreaking havoc. And one guy, I think about right off the bat is Jabril Cox, out of LSU. That's one guy. I think about Xavier Collins. I think about Nick Bolton. You know what I'm saying? I think about Parsons out there at Penn State. These are guys that I feel like the Saints need to look at, man. It's all good to try to find wide receivers and offensive firepower, and I get it, man. In the NFL where everybody's telling you that the wave is throwing the ball down the field, big explosive plays. We talked about it on the last show about the whole chicks dig the long ball type thing. I get it. Throwing the ball 60 yards look pretty. But I ain't going to lie to you, man. I don't think there's nothing more sexy than watching somebody go out there and wreak havoc all over the field. To know that if your offense is sputtering, that you have a defensive player out there that can wreak havoc, a guy that can that can guard tight ends, that can catch. I mean, I think about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and how the New Orleans Saints can't even run their screen game when they play Tampa, or they can't run those halfback tosses, those halfback stretch plays, because those guys are in the backfield before you can think. That is what I want to see. I want to see teams have to scheme for the linebacker play of the Saints. That is what I want, man. And like I said, you can always get a receiver. Like, man, we think about last year's draft. I mean, it was an embarrassment of riches when it came to the receivers that they had in last year's draft. I mean, think about it, man. We're all ranting and raving about Marquez Callaway out of Tennessee, and this guy wasn't even drafted. But you think about these other guys like Gandy Golden, who is yet to play for the Washington football team because he was dealing with injuries. You think about Claypool out there in Pittsburgh. You think about Brandon Ayuk. You can always find wide receivers, man. You can always find diamonds in the rough. And I'm not too much concerned about the wide receiver position because Sean Payton always seems to find that undrafted free agent and always makes him an above average guy. What I want is a stud linebacker. I don't know about you all. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Let me know. I need to know, am I going in the wrong direction? I mean, do y'all feel what I'm saying? Like a stud linebacker. Like, just look at the NFC South. Look at the NFC South. They always have stud linebackers on the opposite team. Wouldn't it be nice for us to have a young stud linebacker too? I mean, I've been thinking about this throughout the entire night. And, you know what I'm saying, I also thought about it when I had the conversation with Matt Moscona. I was like, man, we need a linebacker. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need a linebacker. And that is what I want. I'm serious. That's what I want. Like, we all wanted Jordan Love for the majority of us. The majority of us wanted Jordan Love last year's draft. Okay? We all wanted that, right? We wanted that guy. I want a linebacker, man. Like, looking at these guys go out there and just wreak havoc, I want that too. That is what I want as a Saints fan. I mean, feel free to let me know what you want in the chat. Let me know. Let me know what you all want. You know, like, do you think that we need a linebacker? Do you think the Saints need another running back, a wide receiver? What is your thought pattern? I would love to hear from you, man. But that's just my thoughts. That's my opening statement. Y'all know how I go, man. It's time to open up the chat. Let everybody, see what you all have to say. So let's go ahead and start from the top here. I'm starting with my boy Chemo saying, be safe is real out there. Yeah, I guess he's talking about the cold weather, man. Y'all be safe out there. Look, I'm seeing all these videos out here, and I'm seeing people's cars sliding and people, trying to get on this road. Look, I love the South, man, but we ain't built like this, man. We ain't built for the cold, all right? Go out there, bring your kids out there, let them play in the snow, let them make the little snow angels and go in the house, all right? Don't put your car on the road because we ain't built like that, okay? We ain't built for it tough like that, okay? Your car is not designed for you to be on the roads in inclement weather like this and icy weather, man. So for those that are out there, man, still dealing with these cold conditions, please stay in the house, man. It ain't worth it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't worth it to go out there on the road. Jules says all black quarterbacks get the Aaron Brooks treatment in New Orleans. Jules, I can't say that. I can't say that, Jules, because there haven't been many. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only one that has been is Teddy Bridgewater. And Teddy Bridgewater did what was best for Teddy, right? Teddy went out here. And then the thing about it is, I can't say I agree with that too, Jules, because Teddy had an opportunity to go play in Miami, and the Saints really wanted him back, made him the highest paid backup quarterback at $14 million a year, and he stayed with the New Orleans Saints. And yet still, they wanted him to be the successor to Drew Brees. And if Drew Brees wouldn't have retired, Teddy Bridgewater would have been a quarterback of the New Orleans Saints this season. Make no mistake about it. Okay, we talk about that Tom Brady stuff all we want to. Yeah, Tom Brady was on the agenda, but they wanted Teddy Bridgewater to be back, right? And it wasn't until Teddy decided to go to Carolina because of bigger money? Did they decide to go out here and start talking about the whole Tom Brady stuff? So they wanted Teddy. All right. So I can't really fall into that narrative of black quarterbacks and the Saints don't want black quarterbacks. I don't think so. But I will say this. I feel like there are a fair share of Saints fans out there that have their way of thinking. Yeah, I said it here on the State of the Saints podcast. Okay. I think that some people are still living by the narrative that head coaches, black quarterbacks is a thinking position, right? Head coach, you got to be a thinker. Quarterback position, you got to be a thinker. And some of them still have those, those good old boy type mind frames. Not everybody, but there are a fair share of people that do. And if you do, you should be ashamed of yourself. It's 2021, goddammit. Excuse my French. But I just feel like, I don't think the Saints organization feels that way. I feel like there's some fans that feel that way, though. But I digress. Atlanta Falcons, Debo Jones, absolutely. High State of Saints podcast up early today. Bucks Skull game, I'm always up, man. You know what I'm saying? I work overnight. I come home. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like I would, I'll do a show. I try to do shows in the morning or, like when I, get home and stuff like that from work. But in the last few days, man, I just haven't been feeling real good, man. So thank you, Bucks Skull game, for being a part of the show. Thank you for waking up with me too, man. The grade says we need to clean the roster. I totally disagree with that. Like I don't agree with that, man. Look, that's pure frustration talking right there. And I get it, man. We want to pull our hair out. We're frustrated. We're ready to break something. You know what I'm saying? We're ready to tear something up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, man. Like all this success and nothing to show for it really ticks you off as a Saints fan. Yes, folks, I'm back today, okay? I miss y'all, all right? So I'm pretty animated right now. The thing about it is I understand the frustration, all right? But at the same time, I'm not trying to blow nothing up. This team is not bad, okay? You need, like this is the Saints issue. The Saints need to get over the hump, all right? They need to get over the hump. And this is the most frustrating thing about it, Saints fans. And maybe you can agree with me. Some of you probably won't. The reason they're not getting over the hump it isn't as simple as you think. You know what I'm saying? Like it's you can't think of you can't think of a logical reason why they can't get over the hump, right? Because they're above average. They're up there in the upper echelons of teams, but they can't get over the hump. And it frustrates you because they have the capability of getting over the hump, and they don't get over the hump. That's the frustrating thing about all of this, right? So you're frustrated because they can't get over the hump, and you're frustrated, so you're like, man, just blow the whole thing up. I'm tired of watching this. But they're a good football team. You run this football team back again, and there's still a strong chance they can make the Super Bowl. That's a fact. The thing about it is they picked the wrong time to play their worst game every single year in the playoffs. They picked the worst time to look their worst, right? And that's what it is. You run this team back again, they have the capability of winning a Super Bowl. So, I mean, what more can you say? They beat the Super Bowl champions in the regular season twice. So you can't say, oh, they're not good enough, because they are. They beat the team that hoisted the Lombardi Trophy twice last season. But what happened? They picked their worst time to play their worst game. So I am not thinking about blowing this whole team up. You can add some nuances to it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a linebacker, maybe another pass rush, maybe, you know what I'm saying, get a little better on the offensive line. And, like that's cool. But for you to say to blow it up, no. 12-4, 13-3 consecutive years, 13-3, 2 consecutive years in a row, and a 12-4 this season. Nah, come on, man. That is how you know people are spoiled in the Who Dat Nation. That we are talking about blowing up a team that went 13-3, 13-3 and 12-4. That's when you know you spoiled. And that's when you know you have and that's when you know all you have remembered is success as a Saints fan. You had to. Because there's no way in the world any logical Saints fan, I don't call them logical, but there's no way that a Saints fan beyond the Drew Brees years or before the Drew Brees years would even think like that. That's like that is right there. That is being a prisoner of the Saints' success right there. I couldn't look, no, sir. Blow it up? No, not at all. Sean Phillips, thank you very much for the $5. Says big yes to a stud linebacker, and our secondary needs improvement. And I'd like to see us make a run in the draft for a quarterback. Sean, thank you very much for the $5. I agree with you with the quarterback, but look, the quarterback to me is not a really strong issue because I believe in Jameis. I apologize, man. I got a cough drop in my mouth. I believe in Jameis Winston, all right? I'm willing to give Jameis Winston a chance. Look, if Jameis Winston fall flat on his face, you sign him to a short deal. He fall flat on his face, it doesn't work. Oh, well, okay? You can go out here and get yourself, you know what I'm saying, a quarterback. You know, rather it be Mac Jones, you know, like in the later rounds, you know, maybe him developing or something like that. Taysom, get out of here. Or maybe you go next year and draft another quarterback. But as far as, look, the Saints need, to me, they need that stud linebacker, okay? They need a stud linebacker to me. And they definitely need to get better in the secondary, maybe go younger. You know what I'm saying? Try to get themselves somebody, a younger cornerback that can come in and be opposite of Marshawn Lattimore and, you know, see what you got there. Nobody's going to the Aints, bro. Yeah, you got a lot of people that want to come there, man. This is a State of the Saints podcast, not a State of the Game podcast. That means Yuck fans. Yeah, man. Well, look, Tampa Bay Bucks fans love my show, you know? I mean, and I appreciate them for that. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate them for stopping by. But I don't know. I just, you know, I don't know. I know they still happy about that Super Bowl. But, hey, finding talent in linebacker is not a bad idea, TJ. Look, it's about that time, man. It's about that time. It's about that time to find that stud. Get Shaq Barrett, TJ. He's a free agent. Too much money, too rich for my blood. And not. I mean, he's an incredible linebacker. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's a disruptor. Definitely was one of the key components to the Tampa Bay making that run. But look, I'm gonna just be 100 with y'all, man. Look, what made the Saints successful over the past 4 years is the fact that they've been building through the draft. That successful draft they had back in 2017 kind of made the Saints become a better version of themselves, okay? The last 4 years, the reason why they were so successful in winning all those games is because of the draft. And look, I have nothing against going out there and getting free agents, but me personally, I don't feel like you build a team with a whole bunch of free agents. Now, look, I know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just won a championship doing that, but that's an anomaly to me because I've seen this on so many different occasions. I've seen the Los Angeles Rams do it. I've seen the Denver Broncos try to do it in Peyton Manning's first year. That didn't work out. I've seen the Philadelphia Eagles try to do it a couple years ago, and that didn't work out. And yes, I've seen the Saints try to do it. And that didn't work out, right? When they tried to go out here and get Jarius Byrd and Champ Bailey and all these other cats, you know what I'm saying? They was out here calling the Saints, talking about they were a Super Bowl favorite. So combining a whole bunch of free agents together, to me, that doesn't generate success. And I get it, man. It's a copycat league, and teams are always trying to replicate what the champion has done. You know, last year, everybody wanted to find a Patrick Mahomes type player. But year before that, everybody wanted to find a Sean McVay type coach. And now this year, everybody is trying to go for broke, trying to get that stud quarterback that's unhappy with his team to come in to change their misfortunes. But I'm not a fan of it, okay? I'm still a believer that in order for you to generate continual success, okay? I don't look, it's beautiful to watch a team that struggle finally win a Super Bowl like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, they haven't won a playoff game since 2002 prior to this year. I get it. But at the same time, I'm about continual success. Look, the wheels got to keep on turning, man. As much as we appreciate Drew Brees for the 15 years of service, rather it's in the community and on the field and giving us good moments, life goes on after Drew Brees. I want to see the Saints successful after Drew Brees. I don't want to just get free agent after free agent after free agent. Build through the draft, and the guys that you feel like can come in and play right away, combine them with suitable. And these might not be big name guys. These might be guys that are like Demario Davis type guys that you're probably not going to be household names, but they come in and they're lunch pail, hard hat type players. Let them come in and combine them with those young players, and you generate continual success. That is what I want from the New Orleans Saints. Bump all them free agents and them sexy picks that are out there right now. We need to get J.J. Watt. That'll be cool at the right price. We need to get Shaq Barrett. We need to get this person, that person. Look, build through the draft and then add some pieces in there that are reasonably priced that will get you results and go from there. All right. That is the recipe for success in my book. Okay. Getting a whole bunch of free agents, that don't work nowhere but on Madden, in my opinion. That's just a fact. It don't work nowhere but on Madden for me. How do you feel about JJ coming to New Orleans? Like I said, at the right price. He says wrong, buddy. 07. No, I'm not wrong. Y'all didn't win a playoff game in 2007. You know what I'm saying? I said y'all didn't win a playoff game since 2002, right? 2002 is when y'all, you know what I'm saying, went to the Super Bowl, right? Y'all went to the playoffs in 2007, but y'all didn't win it. Y'all didn't win a playoff game. That's what I meant, though. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Yeah, I mean, so Dada says real talk, TJ. Quinn says call in, please. Won't be taking any calls today, man. I'll take one on the next show. I respect your channel, but how y'all let the Bucks blow by y'all in 1 year? Well, see, that's the thing, man. That's what I said. You know, that's the frustrating thing about the whole process of being a Saints fan over the past 4 years. I don't know. You know, the only logical explanation I have is they picked the wrong time to play their worst game. And then on top of that, you know, I feel like the Saints didn't have a second gear. Like the Saints have one gear to me. You know what I'm saying? And that gear wins them a lot of games. But in the playoffs, you need that second gear. And you need those players to go that extra mile. Like, I love Cam Jordan, but Cam Jordan don't have that extra gear when it comes to the postseason. I like Michael Thomas, but I haven't seen that second gear in the postseason when it came to Michael Thomas. Drew Brees over the last 4 years, I haven't seen that second gear. And a lot of the things that you need to do in order for you to get over that hump, those guys aren't doing. And in the playoffs, man, teams pay attention to detail. And the things that are your shortcomings, rather it be you being unable to pick up, read the blitz or be able to, do certain routes or something like that, they're gonna catch up with you. And I just feel like teams realized that Drew Brees can't get the ball down the field. So, I mean, look, it's win or go home. So we're going to force you to do it. Like, this is not the regular season. This isn't like, okay, you know what I'm saying, we'll do it this week. And you know what I'm saying, it's not like that. You know, and I just feel like the lack of a second gear for this team. And also I feel like combined with Sean Payton inability to get out of his own way. I feel like Sean Payton has these plays, man, that he implements during the playoffs that just don't make no sense. Like, to me, I just feel like things that have made you successful over the course of the regular season, those things should be amplified. Like the Saints coming into the playoffs, I mean, they were running the football tremendously. So I just feel like they should have upped the ante there. Like, you had a quarterback that had 11 cracked ribs, a punctured lung, a questionable rotator cuff, and a foot injury, why would you allow him to try to go out there and throw the football all over the place against the Chicago Bears was beyond me, right? I just didn't get it. There, like I said, the only logical explanation I have is the Saints can't get out their own way, and they just refuse to. And Sean Payton's commitment and loyalty sometimes come back and haunt him and bite him in a you know what. He talked about his loyalty on the Steve Weiss and Jim Trotter show, Huddle and Flow. He talked about his promise to Taysom Hill, even though we know that Taysom Hill wasn't a better quarterback than Jameis Winston. But he promised Taysom he was going to give him an opportunity. And like I said, the ball bounced the Saints' way, right, during that stretch. Because they played the Atlanta Falcons twice. They played a Denver Broncos team that didn't have a quarterback on their roster. They had a wide receiver playing quarterback in that game. And then you had Jalen Hurts playing his first start, a game the Saints should have won, right? Because, Jalen Hurts didn't play – he didn't play good he played okay, down the stretch. But, they kind of caught a break there. But I just feel like his loyalty to Drew Brees, his loyalty to some guys cost them in crucial situations. And that's what makes the Saints – that's what makes them fail year after year. The Saints' luck will change in the playoffs when Drew Brees retires. I don't know, man. I feel like this, man. It's beyond, to me. It's beyond a deep ball. Like, I know that's a simple fix right there, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that just, I don't know, man. That's like pulling, you know what I'm saying? Ladies, you know what I'm saying? Like they have a run in their stockings, they pull it up a little high, you know what I'm saying, to try to dress it up. Eventually, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, you go walking around, eventually people going to see the run in the stocking still, right? We can say that the lack of a deep ball is costing the Saints, but it's beyond that. The Saints have been a really good running team these last couple seasons. But if they go into the postseason, you don't see it. You don't see that, man. And also, their red zone efficiency has been absolutely hot garbage. Like, I think about the 2018 NFC Championship game. The Mario Davis catches an interception in the red zone. Saints can't cash it in, right? I think about this year against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Deontay Harris set the Saints up in outstanding field position twice, and the Saints couldn't get nothing but 6 points. So you can think about the red zone situation. You can think about his undying, unquenchable love for Drew Brees and not allowing the other guys around Drew Brees and understanding that the team itself doesn't really need Drew Brees to generate this type of success. Like there are guys that can do different things. I get it, man. You know what I'm saying? He hitched his wagon, he hitched his wagon to Drew Brees all these years. But like I said, his loyalty to certain guys, his commitment to certain guys, it has cost this team. It has cost them. And the thing about it is when they weren't as successful, it was still costing them. I think about with Garrett Hartley, you know what I'm saying? Like, we love Garrett Hartley. He kicked that 40-yard field goal, sent us to the Super Bowl, kept us in the Super Bowl, but he held on to Garrett Hartley too long because I think he was thinking about, oh man, Garrett, you know what I'm saying? He kicked those field goals for us. So that loyalty stayed there. And Garrett Hartley was missing field goals and costing the Saints games, you know what I'm saying, in the process. So sometimes he can be loyal, too loyal at times, and he can just be too stubborn at times to try to make things work. Like that's just like he just forces things to work when they don't work. And that's what kills the Saints, especially in the postseason. TJ, I think Sean Payton make bad play calling bottom line. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like those stupid ass trick plays against the Chicago Bears. Like the only thing I have to say is he is lucky that they played the Chicago Bears, because let me rephrase that. If the Chicago Bears had better quarterback play, the Saints would have lost that football game. because Sean Payton just comes out there with these stupid plays. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. Like, you had a really good running attack. Like, bruh, there comes a time when sometimes you don't need to have a sneak attack. You don't need to outwit the opponent. Like, I think about that Green Bay Packers game against the 49ers, right? I mean, everybody in the stadium, Levi Stadium out there in Santa Clara, in that NFC Championship game, knew that the 49ers were going to run the football. But ask Kyle Shanahan, did he give a damn? No, because he realized that the Green Bay Packers couldn't stop the run. Like, we're going to run this at you over and over and over and over again. And there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes it don't have to be as complicated as Sean Payton make it. Sean Payton want to do these double reverses, these triple reverses, followed by a pass down the field, and have Taysom Hill doing jump passes. And like, what the hell is this? Like, why are you doing these stupid plays? Like, who cares on a goal line if you know that Taysom Hill is going to try to power it in for a touchdown on a quarterback sneak if it's been successful all season long? Who gives a damn? As long as it works, who cares? So why are you trying to make things harder than what they have to be? Why are you out here doing these triple reverses and all these stupid plays and you implementing for the playoffs just to say, okay, we gotta turn it up a tad bit? Not really. If your running game has been successful and you know that your offensive line is basically tackling and blocking guys out of bounds into the concession stand, why not run the football? Why is it the last time we seen your star running back, well, before he came back from COVID, he had 6 touchdowns, right? And you had a wide receiver who came out the wide receiver room and ran for 104 yards against the Carolina Panthers. So why aren't you running the football? Why don't you put emphasis on a run? And not to mention, you have a 42-year-old quarterback that had 11 fractured ribs. And it's not a secret. Brittany Brees didn't tell Sean Payton that Drew had a messed up rotator cuff and foot issues and cracked ribs. I'm pretty sure Sean Payton knew that. So why didn't you protect your quarterback? So it's a lot of things that's causing the Saints to not get over the hump. Sean Payton is not GOAT head coach y'all think he is. I disagree with that. I think he's a very good head coach. I think he's better than Bruce Arians. I can tell you that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what y'all want. Look, the thing about it is what people that fail to realize, and I keep on saying this here on the State of the Saints podcast, and I don't care if people get tired of hearing it, I'm going to keep on saying it. All right? And I say it because it's relatable. If you work on a job and you've been working at a job for 10 to 15 years, you know where to clock in. You know that job like the back of your hand, right? You can do that job backwards and forwards, and there's going to come a time when you're going to feel complacent. You're going to get tired. You're going to be like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's going to become redundant. And, but think about this. Think about you going and being on a job for a long period of time and then changing jobs. Think about how aware you are. Think about how you just go in to work, willing to learn. You're finding out things that are new. You're finding out the new areas. You know what I'm saying? You got a new office. You got a new computer. You're talking to new people. You know what I'm saying? Like there's that level of excitement that you have, right? Because it's the unexpected that makes it exciting. And you know what I'm saying? And you come up with all these different ideas to make your job better. And you know what I'm saying? And it's exciting. And I feel like this is an issue that has happened with the New Orleans Saints. You have a coach in Sean Payton who has been pretty consistent. You know what I'm saying? Coming into training camp, you can have defensive issues. You can have offensive line issues. But there's one thing that you do know, that you have a quarterback that is going to give you consistent quarterback play, right? And you know when he was thinking, he throw that ball out of bounds, you know why he threw it out of bounds. He throws that interception, you know why he threw that interception. You've been with him for 15 years. But then when you have a new player that comes in, you get a little bit excited. You're sitting in the quarterback room. You're talking to him. You're finding things out about him. You're understanding new tendencies. You're drawing up new plays that can work in his favor. He probably has a different skill set than your quarterback had from previous years. There's a reason why Sean Payton without Drew Brees is 8-1. And if you look at Sean Payton, that's the reason why, like, look, a lot of Sean Payton criticism is warranted, right? It's deserved. But one thing you can say, that SOB can coach. He can coach. He can coach, man. You had two different quarterbacks, Teddy Bridgewater, Taysom Hill, two different quarterback styles, and you go 8-1 with both of those quarterbacks. Straight up. Like, come on, man. Give me a break. Like, people can talk about, oh, he ain't the good coach. Nah, bro. Like, I think that Sean Payton is a much better coach because sometimes we can, like, great coaches to me. You know what I mean? Certain coaches or average coaches can hide behind great quarterback play. A la the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like, come on, man. You think Bruce, like, let's be serious for a second. Do you think, Bruce, if y'all would have went out here and traded for Carson Wentz, do y'all really honestly believe that y'all would have went to the Super Bowl with Carson Wentz? Seriously. Do you think that if y'all would have went out here and stayed within a division and signed Cam Newton in the offseason, do y'all really feel like or really believe that y'all would have went to the Super Bowl with Cam Newton? Oh, man, honestly, man, if you believe that, man, that is better yet, I'll let him see.
Hell no, to the no, hell to the no.
Y'all ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? When you have Tom Brady, you know what I'm saying? When you have arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, I don't even think it's arguably now. When you have the greatest quarterback of all time, I mean, he can rise above mediocre or bottom of the barrel coaching. Y'all could have had Adam Gates on y'all coaching staff, and y'all probably would have went to the Super Bowl if you had Tom Brady with that team. So, I mean, come on, man. I mean, come on. Like, let's just be real. Let's just be real. Let's just be 100 about this. All right. So, but I just say Sean Payton is an above average coach. He definitely like top 5 coaches in the National Football League. And anybody that feels that way, I have to say, man, I have to wonder what is your malfunction. You know, like, you know, it's hard for coaches to win in spite of. Seriously, man. It's hard to win. Mike, thank you very much for $5. Says Sean's innovation is also his Achilles heel. He doesn't play the percentages, and he doesn't keep playing the hot hand when it's working. Mike, thank you very much for the $5. Yes, you know what I'm saying? It's a blessing and a curse. You know, man, I keep going back to Matt Moscona because he talked about Sean Payton. He said Sean Payton feels like he's the smartest guy in the room. And he does, right? And he should. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a great offensive mind. But sometimes that could be your greatest downfall. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that could be your demise. Overthinking things. Cause he overthinks a lot of things, especially in the playoffs. I think that Sean Payton is so nervous in the playoffs. He doesn't coach like he coached in the regular season, and you shouldn't. But I just feel like there's a level of nervousness and a lack of trust in the playoffs. Like, he wants to go with guys that he knows is going to get him there. And it's the only guy that he really has had success with in the postseason has been Drew. Drew and Thomas Morstead. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the two guys that you went all the way with. So, of course, he is going to trust in Drew Brees to get him over the hump. The problem is this team, like, I love Drew, but this team has surpassed Drew Brees. Like, this team can win in spite of Drew Brees. It has been proven. So you should be able to trust your guys to make plays. And that has been the Achilles heel of the New Orleans Saints. Just going to certain guys and putting the ball in Drew Brees' hands, having Drew Brees throwing the ball more 40 times in the game. No, sir. Knock it off. Unnecessary, and that has been the issue with the New Orleans Saints. Capricorn King says, you see how bad we look when Coach Payton was suspended for the season, huh? Exactly. I think people forget that, man. Like, I really strongly believe people are so blinded and so spoiled by success that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like your right arm or something like that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we take for granted we can raise our right hand and, you know what I'm saying, and all that kind of stuff. But what happens, like, if, God forbid this happen, knocks on wood, let's just say you get in an accident and you break your arm, right? And you become totally dependent on your left, right? You start to realize how important having a right hand is. I think we go and we look at Sean Payton, and we have had so much success as Saints fans, and we won more than we ever won in any decade, in any era, and we just automatically just start feeling like we can call the shots. We start feeling like we big baller, shot caller, 20-inch blades on the Impala. You know what I'm saying? Like, we feel like we can win in spite of, or, oh, man, this ain't working. Like, we can, look, we better than this, that, and the third. But I think we take it for granted when you constantly have success. Sean Payton is the innovator behind all the success that the team has had. But, I mean, you can say that he has cost the Saints by overthinking things. Like I said, that's fair. But let's not act as if like this guy ain't generating success and haven't been successful. You know, it's almost like the Bengals, right? You know, Marvin Lewis can't win a playoff game. He can't win a playoff game. He can't win. Can't get over the hump. But what has the Bengals been since Marvin Lewis left? Not very good. Haven't even sniffed the playoffs. Be careful what you wish for, man. Be careful what you wish for. I think once our ability to air the ball opens up a bit, so will Sean's playbook back to how it was 09 to 13. Yeah, Tori, that's a good point right there. But look, I just don't want us to get so fixated on the long ball. Okay, I just think that, like, we got to be careful, man. We got to be careful with that. You know, throwing the ball down the field, it does make the defense have to respect your ability to do that. I feel like that is something that's missing from the Saints. But commitment to the run is going to have to be huge for the New Orleans Saints. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that they can play good defense game in, game out is important. So, yes, I do feel like that can add to the Saints' arsenal. Yes, I feel like they will be able to put up more points. And yes, as fans, it'll probably be more exciting to watch. But, you know, I mean, there are way more important things the Saints got to focus on as well as throwing the ball down the field. TJ should follow Bucks, have great defense. Yeah, the Bucks do have a really good defense, man, but they also have a really good defensive coordinator in Ty Bowles, you know, who has turned around every defense of a team that he's been to, even when the Jets weren't that good. They still had a good defense. Yo, TJ, when you going to get your own show, my brother? I got my own show. you watching it, the State of the Saints podcast. Look, I'm happy, man. Like, I'm happy with what I'm doing. Look, I don't need network appeal and all that kind of stuff because, quite frankly, look, I'm going to just be real. If I can afford to tell y'all a story, all right? So, I applied at a hip-hop station out here in Myrtle Beach. I'd say maybe like a year ago, right? And I walk up into the station. I'm all excited and stuff like that. First thing, you know what I'm saying, I walk to a guy who's having a show right there. I greet him in the hallway, barely wanted to talk to me. I was like, okay, that's weird. So I talked to the station manager, and he makes me read like these I don't know, man. Just make me like read these different scripts and stuff like that for commercials. I read it, and it was like he did everything he could possibly do to try to bring me down. Like, oh, you read this. Oh, you're from New Orleans. You can tell, and the accent, and this, that, and the third, and you gotta read the newspaper in order for you to articulate better. And I'm like, whatever, man. Like, this is the thing. I don't like people deciding my fate. I don't like being fake. I don't like being phony. I don't want to be a caricature. I don't want to just be doing stuff and saying stuff because I feel like it's going to generate me money. You know why I like doing the State of the Saints podcast, Who That Nation, Bucks fans, sports fans everywhere that's watching this? It's because you get the real true me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to sugarcoat. I don't have to become, a lesser version of myself. I don't have to be super appealing to try to get everybody's money. And, you know what I'm saying? I want donations galore. And look, I love what I'm doing. I started out very few subscribers. I consistently did shows. I constantly do shows because I love what I'm doing. Nobody's pressuring me to do things. Nobody's telling me to change this, change that. Most of the time, when people that are listening to the show, they're asking me up doing different things. Most of the time it's for a better show experience from their part, and that I can appreciate. But when you're dealing with networks, when you're dealing with radio stations, you got a lot of jealousy. You got a lot of envy. You got a lot of people trying to bring you down. I don't want that type. I don't want that type of life for myself. I don't want to. I love doing what I'm doing right now. I don't want to go into doing something and I hate it, right? I don't want to have my trip to Africa like Dave Chappelle, okay? Like, I don't want to have to be going away because I'm not happy with what I'm putting out. So I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? I have here the State of the Saints podcast. We started out with about 4 subscribers, I think, for like 3 months. And now, we're close to 6,000, and I'm happy. We got people that's paying attention and respecting what we're doing here on the State of the Saints podcast. I'm good. I'm good, man. If I'm doing this, and on top of like doing other things at 90.9 FM where I'm at right now, producing, writing commercials, afternoon show, I'm happy, dude. I don't need network appeal. I'm good. I'm good on that. We need the deep ball aspect to our game. Okay, good point. To help open up our offense. This team should focus on using Jameis' arm to open up the rest of this offense. I agree with that. I agree with that. People being crazy to a certain extent. All right. I feel like they need to put emphasis on the running game. All right. That's one thing that I believe. I believe they need to put emphasis on the running game because it sets up the play action. Those when the explosive plays start to come in. All right. So I feel like no matter who the quarterback is, the Saints need to put more emphasis on the run. All right. I think that they're going to be a much better running team going into the 2021 season. I'm interested to see how they're going to do this because you don't have Drew no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have the ultimate eraser. All right. You don't have a guy, if you're down 3 touchdowns, if you're down 3 touchdowns rather than Jameis or Taysom, you're in trouble. Because that's when guys are going to start being reckless. They're going to start putting a lot of pressure on themselves, and they're going to start overthinking, and it's going to make things worse. So I do feel like the Saints need to become a running team next season, combined, with, the play action, explosive plays down the field. I want the Saints to be a running team next year. Chris says, I love this show. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. And JPP was making game-winning plays, dog. Yeah, man, JPP looking real good. Man, everything that Jason Pierre-Paul has been through, that 4th of July accident and, losing his fingers. Man, you got to be happy for the guy, man. So shouts out to him, man, being able to still go out there and being effective. I would trade Malcolm Jenkins. I don't think I would trade Malcolm Jenkins. Malcolm Jenkins is a leader. He started off a little slow at the beginning of the season, and as the season progressed, he got better. So I don't think I would trade him. I actually like that. Now, what you can do is draft another safety. Okay, maybe later in the rounds, a guy that can actually learn under him, and a guy that can probably rotate with him. You know, and that's what I would do. At least we got a chip. Okay, yeah. I guess you're going at it with Josh. Saints should not throw many picks this year. Well, hopefully they won't, because they'll run the football, put emphasis on there. I think the biggest issue is with Jameis and why he threw so many interceptions is because there was very little emphasis on running the football in Tampa, which is really ridiculous when you think about it, because you had Ronald Jones, who is a really good running back. But Bruce Arians, he just don't seem to want nothing to do with the running game, okay? And make no mistake about it, that wasn't his offense he was running late in the season. That was New England, right? And I just feel like he just wanted Jameis to just put the ball in the air way too much. And when you put the ball in the air way too much, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, And I just think of it this way. Bruce Arians' offense, if you're a quarterback, your interceptions are going to double. So if you're a 10 interception type guy, you're going to have 20. If you're a 15 interception guy, you're going to have 30. It's just as simple as that, So I just think that it just doubles the way that, his offense is ran. So that's the way I feel about it. Black and Gold, thank you very much for the $5. Says, I hope Sean Payton can put his pride aside and trust in Winston. Like number 9. Payton, great football mind, and Winston, big arm and talent. They can do great things. I agree with that. I think that he's going to have to earn the trust. Like, I think sometimes we tend to forget that Drew Brees had to earn the trust of Sean Payton. So just like Drew had to do, Jameis going to have to do too. I think we just automatically just come out and just think that Drew Brees was just Sean Payton's choice off the bat. He was not, right? He wasn't, Mickey Loomis talked to Sean Payton, was like, hey, man, look, Drew was a Pro Bowler, okay? And Sean was very skeptical. Like, what about his arm, man? He wanted Tony Romo, right? That's who he wanted. That was his guy. He wanted Tony Romo. He was trying to make the trade for Tony Romo, but Bill Parcells said, no mas, okay? No way, no how. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't having this conversation, And they decided to go with Drew Brees. And Sean said in training camp, man, Drew Brees looked like slaw. 2006, said he looked like slaw. He was like, man, maybe we didn't make the right decision. But over the course of time, Drew Brees changed his mind. And he won his respect. And he won his trust. So should be the same thing with Jameis, man. And I want Saints fans to, whoever the quarterback is, like, if they can't get a deal with Jameis, they go get Mac Jones, they get Taysom, Trey Lance, or whoever they get. Whether it's a young quarterback or a seasoned veteran. Look, I think we have to lower our expectations at the quarterback position. And we have to understand that whoever comes in is not Drew Brees. I just think that, like I said, we are spoiled because we have had consistency at the quarterback position. Like, that's the one position that I guess you can say some of us for the last 2 to 3 years. But for the most part, we never really had to worry about, right? Like, even if you weren't a Drew Brees fan, you wanted him to retire towards the last 2 to 3 years, you had to admit that you always believed the Saints were going to win. And, if the Saints were down by 3 and the Saints had the ball with 2 minutes left, you knew Drew Brees was going to at least get them in field goal range or score a touchdown. All right. But we have to lower our expectations. We have to. Like, we have to understand whoever comes in is not going to be Drew Brees. And we cannot compare that person to Drew Brees. And if you do that, you know what you're going to do? You're going to make yourself extremely frustrated. You're going to make yourself extremely angry every single Sunday, Thursday, Saturday, whenever the Saints play. You're going to be frustrated. So keep that in mind, right? We gotta lower the bar just a tad bit, and realize that whoever this is learning a new offense, learning a new system, learning other guys' tendencies, and they may not have the same type of routine, same type of precision as Drew Brees. So let's lower our expectations on that. Like that's not lower expectations to being 7-9. No. But let's understand that there will be a drop off at the quarterback position, for a while. Black and Gold, thank you very much for the $5. Says I already read that. Okay, but Black and Gold, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Let's see. Let's throw back up a little bit. You good, bro. Do your own thing. You doing all right with the podcast. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. From New Orleans was whomever trying to diss you. Nah. The thing about it is, I just think I just can't get into the whole political thing when it comes to radio station. Like, I'm fortunate to work for a radio station that they allow me to be creative, right? I rarely ever get backlash from the radio station that I work at, right? Like, one of my jobs is to produce like the whole Black History programs and stuff like that. I tell them what I'm going to do, and they're okay with it. If I tell them that I'm about to go out and interview this person, a community activist, this, that, and the third, they're okay with it. I barely ever get backlash from my ideas. When you're dealing with like bigger radio stations, or especially those radio stations that have about 3 or 4 stations inside of it, you get a lot of these guys out here that probably been there for a long period of time. And when they see a guy that's, a fresh face, possibly a fresh voice, they have a tendency of, I don't know, man, want to, diss you or try to, I ain't got no time for that, man. I'm serious. Like, I never will want to put anybody down to make myself feel better, to make myself feel as if, I'm superior. I don't want to do that, man. Like, that's why I try to encourage people, and I feel like that's what we all should do. I never look at anybody as competition. I don't, like, I just feel like there's too much of that going on in the world. I feel like people that look at others for competition question themselves and their self-worth. Like, if you know that you have the capability of doing something great or doing something special, why hate on the next person? Like, why not encourage that person? And then you have yourself, 2 people that's doing some extraordinary things. I don't understand that. But hey, man, going to the radio, working at the radio station, I listen to the station of the guy who tried to put me down, and I look at it now. I'm pretty sure on a week basis, I know that I get more people listening and viewing this show than a radio station. So, I mean, hey, Be Kind. I'm thankful I found your channel. Thank you, Be Kind. People being crazy, the Saints need defense to start dominating in the playoffs. We've been good, but we need turnovers and big plays on the defensive side. Well, hopefully Chris Richard can help with that in the secondary. Hopefully he can help with that, because the Saints definitely need some help when it comes to generating turnovers, especially in crucial parts of the game. Look, the technique needs work and ball instincts need work. So hopefully he can help these guys see the big picture. Brian Billick had to get fired from the Baltimore Ravens to win another Super Bowl. Keep in mind, Pittsburgh fired Chuck Noll. Yeah, but Jules, how long was Chuck Noll? How long was Chuck Noll the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers? The Pittsburgh Steelers, what they had, maybe 3 or 4 coaches in their entire like existence, maybe. I think they had a coach before Chuck Noll, and then from Chuck Noll came Bill Cowher, and then from Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin. I mean, come on, man. They had about 4 coaches in the entire lifetime. Baltimore. I mean, you got if you want to give them the credit for being the Browns, okay, they had quite a few. All right, but I guess Browns get to keep their history. All right, so I mean, Baltimore haven't had those many coaches either, right? They haven't. So what they had about 3? Brian Billick. Who was there before Brian Billick? Somebody help me out. Did they have a coach before Brian Billick? Only one I can think of is Brian Billick and John Harbaugh. You know, I'm talking about Baltimore Ravens history. I'm pretty sure they probably had somebody else that I'm missing, but what's up, TJ? We need to go get Von Miller if the Broncos don't pick up his contract. Look, like I said, I mean, the narrative of the show is getting a stud linebacker. That's what I'm running with. I like Von Miller. He has been a stud. He's a Super Bowl MVP. He's a disruptor. He's a really good linebacker. He can rush the quarterback. But man, it's about that time, man. I think the Saints need to get a younger stud linebacker. Okay, that's what I think they need. I don't think that they need to start looking into the free agent market trying to get guys in here. Get you some young players that you can win with on rookie deals, combine them with a few free agents, and let's see if we can get some success. Restructure some contracts and make it happen. Well, they already doing that, Kent. I mean, look, they already done knocked off about $30 million of cap space. You know what I'm saying? They already done that. So they going in the right direction. I'm confident that Kai Harley and Mickey Loomis and crew will get the job done. I believe in them. J.J. Watt needs to come to the Bucs. Wouldn't surprise me if he didn't. Von Miller old and washed up. I wouldn't say that. He had some injuries and stuff like that, and I think that kind of plagued him. Saints fans, we made y'all choke, though. Well, I don't think y'all the only ones. I just think that the Saints just, like I said, don't have that second gear. Von Miller's still good. Yeah, he's still good. Still serviceable. Watt old, washed up, and full of injuries. Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since he played a full 16-game season. He did it last season, but before that, it was a while. What Tampa going to do when Brady gone? Well, I mean, right now they're on top. So I guess, you'll cross that bridge when you get there. Bro, we beat 3 Hall of Fame Super Bowl MVPs in a row. Give credit. That's a good point. They beat Brees, they beat Rodgers, and they beat Mahomes, in order for them to get to the Super Bowl. Even though, I guess I don't know. I guess you got to get a defense credit on that. I mean, holding Mahomes to 9 points, that's pretty remarkable. Heineke lit y'all up. I just think they weren't prepared for Heineke. Heineke kind of, Heineke just overperformed, man. He caught them off guard. I agree, got to keep the team young and fast with your veteran core. Would love for us to draft a stud linebacker. Yeah, we definitely need that. We need that bad. Belinda says, put all eggs in the basket, get one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the draft. Well, look, I don't want to say I disagree with that. I understand where you're going, but I'm interested to see what Jameis can do. I do feel like if a quarterback that you like, I won't say love, because if you love them, you'll get them in the first round. But if you got a quarterback that's still there, you get them, okay? But the thing about it is, you do something similar to what the Patriots did with Cam Newton. Sign him to a 1-year contract. In this case, maybe give Jameis a 1 or 2-year contract, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and load it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't make it, just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do incentive-based. I heard people talking about that. And, let it be an incentive-based contract and, see what you got from there. I mean, and if it don't work out, then you go out there and you try to get yourself a quarterback. But I don't – look, I get the thinking, but I'm not ready to give up on Jameis. I don't want to give up on Jameis. Devin White was out also against the Washington football team. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was dealing with COVID. I think Winston would surprise a lot of critics being in New Orleans. Yeah, I think he would too. Still ain't winning nothing once Brady gone. Well, look, they're on top right now. And we can talk about it as much as we want to, Saints fan, but look, all of us, you know what I'm saying, here that are part of the Who Dat Nation wished it was us hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. Nobody care. Like, ain't nobody going to care, when, you know what I'm saying, when it's all said and done. It's almost like, to me, when people start talking about Katrina and, you know, oh, it's a sympathy Super Bowl. Like, who? Like, come on, man. Who cares? Like, the Saints won the Super Bowl. You know, like, it is what it is. Like, it ain't like nobody going to be like, man, y'all had Brees. Like, don't y'all wish y'all would have had them too? You know what I'm saying? Like, so, I mean, look, they won 2 Super Bowls. Do I feel like they were a better football team than the Saints? No, I don't. Okay? I just feel like they got hot at the right time. Things start clicking at the right time, start gelling. Bruce Arians got out his way. Leonard Fournette, like, he was basically fresh as a daisy because he was barely used throughout the season. And they played outstanding defense, man. So I got to give them credit where credit is due. And that's why we're here on the State of the Saints podcast today, right? Upset, you know, frustrated, glass half empty, glass half full, the way you want to look at it. And we're trying to figure out ways where the Saints can actually get over that hump. You know, they've gotten over the hump. They figured it out for 1 year at least. They figured it out. Now it's our time to figure it out. So I'm not going to, like, discredit them because I feel like, you know, to me, I feel like that'd be a tad bit hypocritical. I mean, I was mad at the time and, you know, because, I mean, look, I was just frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Any Saints fan, I'm pretty sure you echo my sentiments. But, you know, when you think about it, I mean, for them to do everything they need to do to win a championship, you got to give them respect for that, right? And I don't know, man. Like, let's try to see what we can do. Trade Teron Armstead and Andrews Pete and a second-round pick to the Lions. See if they bite. Let me see how I can. First off, that's not bad, okay? But let me just say this, Saints fan. I wouldn't trade Teron Armstead, but I would trade Andrews Pete. And I'll tell you why. You can get a first-round pick for Andrews Pete. Now, hold on now. Wait a minute. Now, I know somebody out there like, what? Hear me out. Hear me out, folks. Hear me out before everybody just lose their minds. You can get a first-round pick for Andrews Pete because when the Saints drafted Andrews Pete coming out of Stanford, what position did he play? He played left tackle. And when Teron Armstead was hurt, you know, Andrews Pete would rotate from the guard to the left tackle position. And you can arguably say that sometimes Andrews Pete played left tackle better than he played at the guard position. So I do feel like a team would actually trade for Andrews Pete, I mean, and move him to left tackle, and he can be a serviceable left tackle. So you actually, based on his age, based on the look, here's the thing, folks. Teams look at Pro Football Focus, analytics, and all that other stuff. Now, they're not watching consistent Saints games like we do. They're looking at, and this is what their agent and all the other guys are going to do. They're going to hype up the Pro Bowl. They're going to hype up Pro Football Focus. They're going to hype up analytics. So you probably can get a first-round pick for Andrews Pete if you move him to the left tackle position. You know, Teron Armstead is inconsistent as hell. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, Saints fan. I don't. You can arguably say this was Teron Armstead's best season. Teron Armstead is a really good left tackle. Now, you can say that the inconsistency of being in the lineup, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not. But for you to say inconsistent, no. Teron Armstead is the top 3 left tackles in football. He's top 3. Okay, there's not many better than Teron Armstead. All right, so that's the way I'm looking at it. All right, so I can't agree with you on that, but I would try to trade Andrews Pete. You know what I'm saying? Andrews Pete, you can move to a left tackle position. Left tackle position is a well scouted, well touted position, and Andrews Pete has proven he can do it. He has proven he can do it. So yeah, you can finesse, a team, and getting draft picks for Andrews Pete. If you can say, well, he'll be a good left tackle, and some teams will look at Andrews and make him a left tackle. And I feel like he would be better at left tackle, to be honest with you. I do feel that way. Because I feel like this, man. When Andrews Pete came out of Stanford, I mean, he gained a lot of weight to play at the guard position. When he was out, because I remember like when he got drafted, I was like, man, he kind of skinny and like kind of small for a tackle, man. I mean, for a guard or whatever. He gained a little weight. He lost about 30 pounds this season. But I just think that you can make him a left tackle and he can, you can trade him. Teams will trade for him. Michael Thomas is going to carry this team next year. I can already see it, especially if Taysom Hill is the quarterback. Well, I don't think Taysom Hill is going to be the quarterback. I don't think that's happening, Saints fan. I just think that we all just need to realize that Sean Payton, like I said, he is loyal to a fault. And him saying to Taysom he was going to give him a chance before Jameis arrived, he was just being loyal and he was just trying to keep his promise. Taysom Hill ain't it. Taysom Hill ain't it, who that nation. I'm sorry. I like him. I respect him. He lightning in a bottle. He's a spark when the Saints need one, but he ain't the quarterback of the future. Not to me. Do y'all have a better defensive player than Devin White? I would put Demario Davis up there with him. I think that Demario Davis can give him a run for his money. But, I mean, Devin White is an incredible linebacker. He's an incredible linebacker. So, and he's only going to get better, But I will say this, man. He kind of, like the thing I liked about Devin White was at the beginning of the season, he was struggling. He was struggling in coverage. Right? He was struggling to guard those tight ends and those running backs. But he made up for it by being so instinctive and getting to the ball real fast. As the year progressed, he got better. He got better in coverage. And that was the one thing that was kind of holding him back. So, to me, if you would have asked me at the beginning of the season who was better out of Devin White and Demario Davis, I would have said Demario Davis. But leaving the season, I would have to say that Devin White took that step past Demario, okay? I mean, you have a guy that is ascending in Devin White, and you have a guy who is towards the end of his career in Demario Davis. So I would give Devin White the notch. But I will say that Devin White as of right now is better. But Demario Davis on any given Sunday can play just as good, if not better, than Devin White. But Devin White is better. TJ, we all know some kind of way Sean Payton is going to make Taysom Hill the quarterback. Sean himself called the man the next Steve Young, not me. He definitely called him the next Steve Young. But he's also been ranting and raving about Jameis Winston and his ability. So look, take that with a grain of salt. Sean Payton is a shrewd operator, dude. there's a reason for everything that Sean Payton does. Sean Payton could be ranting and raving about Taysom because, you know, you can use that as trade bait. I mean, he might see certain characteristics in Taysom that makes him Steve Young, but Taysom ain't, look, we can talk up Taysom all we want to. Taysom ain't going to be the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. The only reason that, I'm going to just be real. The only reason that he would have a chance is if the Saints can't sign Jameis Winston. That's his only shot. And you have a young quarterback that's going to be backing him up. And I just feel like it would be only a matter of time before that young quarterback emerges in practice and become better than Taysom Hill. I mean, that's just the reality of it. I don't know what anybody else is seeing. You know, I don't know what anybody else saw or seeing. All I'm saying is this. If the Saints sign Jameis Winston back to a contract, if he is still on the New Orleans Saints team, you know, if they get a contract signed, sealed, and delivered, Taysom Hill is going to be the backup of the New Orleans Saints. That is a fact. You know, that is a fact. Like, this is, I mean, Sean Payton can say what he wants, but Sean Payton know it. Sean Payton know who the better quarterback. He know who has the better skill set. He know who has the better, you know what I'm saying, the higher ceiling. He knows the guy that he probably has a better chance to win with. And, you know what I'm saying, it has all the tools. Like, this dude was the first pick overall in the draft for a reason. I think what Sean Payton said was that Hill reminds him of Steve Young, not that he's the next Steve Young. Yeah, I think a lot of people took that and ran with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, you know, I mean, it's like saying, you know, Alvin Kamara. You know, you say Alvin Kamara reminds him of Marshall Faulk. He didn't say he was Marshall Faulk. And I think that we kind of see that. You know, I got to say, man, I don't see anything in Taysom Hill that reminds me of Steve Young. I watched Steve Young play. I watched Steve Young play throughout my entire childhood. I was a huge Steve Young fan. I used to love seeing Steve Young scramble. I would say, like, to me, if anybody reminds me of Steve Young, is Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson reminds me of Steve Young. That's who reminds me of Steve Young. I don't Taysom Hill, bruh. I got to think about this. I don't know, Cordell Stewart, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, Taysom doesn't really remind me of any quarterback that I've seen that's generated success. You know, I don't know. You know, I like watching him play, but he doesn't remind me of Steve Young. I mean, come on, man. Like, I'm 34 years old. I'm pretty sure I'm not the oldest person that watches, you know what I'm saying, that watches football. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know y'all probably watched Steve Young back in the day. Like, does Taysom Hill remind you of Steve Young? Like, objectively, Saints fans. I don't want people like, nope. Like, really think about it, right? Let's not just go ahead and poo-poo it. Like, just think about it. Like, does he remind you of Steve Young? Not me. Russell Wilson reminds me of Steve Young. Yo, TJ, what do you think about Alexa Bliss promo on a Monday Night Raw? That was incredible. I didn't see it. I heard about it. Heard that it was real good. Heard that you know, a lot of people was ranting and raving about it. But like I said on the last show, Alexa Bliss is the best thing that's going right now on Monday Night Raw. Her and Drew McIntyre. I like him. Man, it's amazing. Alexa heard me all the way up in here. TJ, do you think Jameis? Alexa, start playing music. Excuse me real quick, man. I gotta go turn this Alexa off. Thank you very much, Ramsey. You got my Alexa going crazy. But here's a little commercial by a sponsor at Manscaped. Y'all check it out. This is TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And I want to let you know that the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. Over 2 million men worldwide have joined the movement for all their below-the-waist needs. Engineers for the last 18 months have perfected the greatest hair trimmer ever created, the Lawnmower 3.0. The third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology, pioneered by Manscaped. You can choose the Lawnmower 3.0 as well as other items by going to manscaped.com, and you can also save 20% by using the promo code State of Saints. That's manscaped.com. Use the promo code State of Saints and save 20% on the Lawnmower 3.0 as well as other Manscaped items. That's manscaped.com. Yeah, we back here on the State of the Saints podcast. I apologize for that. Thank you very much, Ramsey, because I read your comment and Alexa, she heard me say that and she started playing music. So thank you very much, Ramsey. But anyway, we back, man. I'm going to read a few more, then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Let's see. Where we stopped at? TJ, do you think Jameis will be an MVP candidate under this offense? I think he has a chance to do that, but it all depends on how much does Jameis want it. You know, how much do you want to be the guy, the man? You know what I'm saying? So there's a chance. I mean, anything is possible. Brandon says Taysom Hill reminds me of Cardell Stewart. Yeah, that's who he reminds me of. TJ, you know Taysom better than Steve Young and Joe Montana and Tom Brady put together.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no.
No, sir. Says fan. Tori says they're going to be available at 28 or we got to go up and get them. Well, I don't know if we're talking about quarterbacks here, Tori, or not, but I think you can find yourself a good quarterback at 28. And a lot of people are talking about Mac Jones, you know, so there isn't a combine this year. So unless he's about to blow it away at a pro day and up his draft stock, probably got a strong chance of getting him. Thank you very much, Piano Dean, for the $5. Said, hey, TJ, I live in Myrtle Beach, too. I've been a player at the Crocodile Rocks for 20 years. Let me buy you a drink and talk some Saints sometime. Okay. You said I've been a player at Crocodile Rocks for 20 years. Okay. All right, man. Hey, I'm going to have to come out there and see you, Piano Dean. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good to me, man. I'll have to run into you one of these days, man. So shouts out to you. Thank you very much for the $5. Really do appreciate your time also, man. Thank you. What's up, TJ? Do you think our offense scheme will be completely different next season? It should be. It should be more run dominant. It definitely should be that. Yeah, Piano thing. I'm definitely gonna have to come see you out there, man. I'm definitely gonna have to come see you, and I'm pretty sure my wife gonna enjoy it too, because she really, man, this whole pandemic and all this other stuff, like she clamoring to get out, you know. And it's hard, you know. It's hard to, you know, go out on these dates sometimes because, you know, we got the Pac-Man and it's just me and her, you know. And, you know, if I'm here at the house, I'm with Paxton. If I'm at work or I'm out and about, she has them. So it's kind of hard to like have a, you know, a married dating life, you know, when you're parents, especially when you're dealing with a rambunctious 1-year-old and it's just you and your wife, you know, and nothing else. Let's see. What's up, TJ? Do you think? Oh, I already read that. Gotria says, I am a lifelong bandwagon Bucks fan since 2021, and I appreciate you for admitting that. And now I am in love with the Tampa Bay bandwagoneers. Well, look, I respect the hell out of you, Gotrius, for saying that, because you got a lot of fans out here that trying to act like they've been rolling and riding the wave for all these years. And you go and you look at their profiles and all of a sudden you just start seeing Tampa Bay stuff around 2020. And it just makes you raise an eyebrow or two because, you know, they're up in here and talking mad noise and acting as if they've been rolling with the Bucks for years. And those are the fans that I cannot stand. Those Those are the ones I can't stand. TJ tripping. You know Taysom Hill is the GOAT. Taysom had more fumbles than all of the boys of the season, so he's better. Well, since fumbles actually make you a much less version of yourself, it makes you a much less heralded quarterback, running back, or any other offensive position, I would have to say that's not a good trait to have. I've been a Bucs fan for 20 years. Facts, vet. I appreciate that, and I'm pretty, and I respect your loyalty, man. I respect anybody's loyalty that's been rolling with the team. Look, if you've been rolling with your team through the bad times, look, respect. If you're around this thing riding the wave, you know what I'm saying? Surf's up. You know what I'm saying? But you don't get no respect from me. That's just what it is. Most of the people in the chat respect Buccaneers gang in the house. He's been in the chat since last year. Yeah, man. I mean, they had quite a few Buccaneer fans up in here. I'm not gonna lie about that. Man. There are a lot of Bucs fans that's been here. Josh has been here for a while. Bucs Skull Game has been here since. Bucs Skull Game been here for a good little hot minute. Vet, I think this might have been my first time actually seeing you, my friend. But he said he's been a Bucs fan for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So look, I respect everybody that's been rolling with their team, and anybody else that's fans of other teams. We've had like people like the Seahawks come up in here. We have Falcon fans up in here. Archangels, he's been here for quite some time, going on like his second season. About 2 years. So, man, we have fans of other teams in here. You know what I'm saying? Been rolling hard. So, respect to them. Bucks been too trash to have a wagon. Yeah, man, they've been pretty bad, But hey, man, it's y'all time, man. It's y'all time to celebrate and have bragging rights. It's y'all time. It's y'all moment. Here on the State of the Saints podcast, we trying to scheme and plot and figure out what we need to do in order for us to hoist the Lombardi Trophy for the second time. Hopefully, it happens sooner rather than later. Brandon says no NFL combine. There are going to be a lot of bust picks in the first round. Yeah, Brandon. But that's why teams have to do their due diligence. You got to do your due diligence. The scout team is going to have to be burning the midnight oil to make sure that they're getting the best guys possible. You're going to have to burn that midnight oil to make sure that you're not going to be setting your squad back. So, do their job, and we should be fine. Free agency isn't going to work unless Drew Brees retires. Well, Drew Brees is going to retire. Look, you don't cut $23 million off your contract if you ain't about to retire. Okay, the writing's on the wall. Like, the thing about it is, I just feel like maybe the verbiage of the contract is prohibiting him from coming out, because if he doesn't retire, I think before June or something like that, then the Saints, like that money would just be completely wiped off the books. I think that's one of the main reasons. So he could stay on, on the Saints roster until that time and then retire, and that will save the team money. Or if he can actually retire and they still get to save that money, then I think he'll do so. But I just think that the reason why he doesn't come out is because of the verbiage of the contract. Last time I checked, if Drew Brees is still on the roster at a certain time, then that money will drop off. But I think the Saints would have to pay a certain amount of money or something like that. I don't know. That's how I'm hearing it. So maybe he hasn't made his announcement because it's more beneficial to the Saints for him not to make that right now. I will argue with TJ. He knows Taysom Hill the GOAT. Respect to you, TJ, for always keeping it real and giving credit. Look, man, it's pointless now, for me to carry that. At the time, I must admit, Josh, I was very frustrated, and my frustration came that, the Saints beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers twice, but when it's all said and done, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the champs. And that's just something, like I said, we have to accept because that's what it is. And we can dissect it all we want to, or if they didn't have this, or if they didn't have that. Well, they did. They went out there, they gambled, and they won. All right? They left Vegas with the bag. All right? So can't get mad at them with that. All of us here in the Who Dat Nation wish we could trade places with the Buccaneers right now. You're lying if you say that you're lying if you say that you don't feel that way. Because if you didn't feel that way, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be a football fan. You wouldn't be a Saints fan. So I give them credit. Congratulations to you, man. Like I said, we're here. This is the off season. This is the time where we put our thinking caps on. This is when we all become our armchair GMs and armchair scouts and armchair analysts. And, we try to figure out what the Saints need in order for them to get better. When the draft comes up, we have our live draft reaction shows. We talk about the Saints draft picks. And when we don't like the draft picks, like we did with Cesar Ruiz last year, we talk about it. We share each other's frustrations and, we have a good time in the process. Brees better be a backup to get that ring. Play games if our quarterback get hurt. Look, Brees needs to go, man. It's over. Brees is hurting his legacy as of right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people, like, I hate to say it, man, but people don't give Drew Brees the benefit of the doubt. They don't give him the benefit of the doubt for being great, number one. And because they don't give him the benefit of the doubt of being great, they don't give him that pass. His legacy is being it's being tainted, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's looking sad. Like, I'm just being real. Like, I love Drew, but it's looking sad right now, man. It's almost like watching it's almost like watching your favorite wrestler. And he's over the hill, he's old. It's like Kurt Angle last run in WWE. Now I know I'm losing some of y'all with the wrestling, but y'all know I love wrestling. So Kurt Angle is one of my favorite wrestlers. I would say Kurt Angle is my top 3 favorite wrestler of all time. Eddie Guerrero number 1. I would put Kurt Angle 2, 2 or 3. But the last time he came back, man, it was pretty obvious. You know what I'm saying? He had all these different neck surgeries. He was slower. He couldn't move the way he did. It was just sad to watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just awful. And it got to a point when I seen Kurt Angle coming out there to wrestle, I turned the TV because I didn't want to remember the last moments of Kurt Angle wrestling to look that way. Being sloppy, can't keep up with the younger talent. It's like the same way with Drew, in my opinion. Can't get the ball down the field. You know what I'm saying? Giving it everything that he has. Doing, the little things, yes, but definitely not the Drew that we all fell in love with, that we were cheering and had us falling all over the couch and doing the Vincent Boogie and pulling that umbrella out the closet and dancing around your living room. I don't want to see Drew Brees go out like that. I don't want to see it. I would like to see Drew Brees go out here and take on life after football. I mean, you got a lot of money. You're an entrepreneur. You got a contract with NBC. I mean, he's doing more harm to his legacy than good because he's not Aaron Rodgers, who they're going to give shot after shot because he has great arm talent. Not going to give them the benefit of the doubt like Patrick Mahomes because he has great arm talent and he's young. It's just not going to happen. It's unfortunate. It's not fair, but it's true. Josh Wood, thank you very much for the $1.99. Hey, what do you think about us getting Asante Samuel Jr.? Asante Samuel Jr. out of Florida State. I think he's really good. I don't think he's like a real true press man corner. More of a nickel corner to me. J.C. Horn out of South Carolina, the son of Joe Horn, Saints great. I think he's more of a press corner, a guy that can be on the outside, that can play opposite of Marshawn Lattimore. Interested to see if he'll be there, if the Saints have to move up to get him. But Sante Samuel Jr., he's more of a nickel corner to me. I can't see him being on the outside. And I can't see that. If there any way they have a combine this year, TJ, I doubt it. No, I don't think so. Black and Gold, hey, TJ, did you hear about Demario Davis begging Drew Brees to stay? I don't think he begged him to stay, Black and Gold. It seemed like he said, I hope he comes back. And he also just kind of made a little joke about, want somebody to say that he washed up. I guess I'm adding to that cause, right? I'm adding to it, with that whole Kurt Angle analogy. But look, I just don't think that Drew Brees is going to come back. And, I don't think the Saints would bring him back. I'm just being honest. I think they might, if he talk about coming back, I think the Saints it might be a ugly situation. TJ, thing about The Undertaker, because he finally retired, but in the end, it took decades. Well, Undertaker still didn't look horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wrestled Goldberg at that pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia, but, I mean, Goldberg was the reason why that match sucked. It wasn't so much The Undertaker. But, I mean, Kurt Angle just comes to mind because it was just so obvious. It was just so obvious. Black Gold, thank you very much for the $5. Yeah, I appreciate the $5, man, but you ain't have to donate, man. You have to donate that because you basically just asked me the same thing. But I do appreciate the donation, but, man, I wish you ain't donate. I wish you ain't donate because it's because it's like I would have answered your question. It was coming down the line, but I appreciate the $5. B-Con says, I became a NOLA fan the first year we started. Was at the first game with my parents. Still love Tom Dempsey, the kicker. Yeah, man. Had that 63-yard field goal record until Matt Prater broke it a few years back. So, yeah, man. You've been rolling with the Saints a long time. That's my grandmother territory right there. I still got my Dome Patrol poster hanging right behind me. Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's a classic poster right there. Dome Patrol. What about Patrick Peterson to the Saints? He wants to come to us in a trade. Wouldn't mind Patrick Peterson being here. A lot of people are talking about maybe he need to move to safety. If he does, if you can't keep Marcus Williams, that would be an interesting dynamic, moving Patrick Peterson to the safety position. But I don't know, man. It all depends on the Patrick Peterson, what he still has left. I think he has a lot left in the tank. I do feel like him playing in Arizona and the thought in his mind, like they're not going to be playing for a championship, kind of hindered him a tad bit. But, I do think that, guys, once they get older, they get a tad bit slower. The instincts become a tad bit off. And, they switch them from corner to safety. I mean, it worked for Charles Woodson. So why not Patrick Peterson? I mean, they're both extremely athletic, extremely talented. Charles Woodson on his way to the Hall of Fame. Patrick Peterson on his way to the Hall of Fame when his career retires. When he does retire, when his career is over. When merch dropping, bro? I'm working on that right now. I don't have the merch details, and I'm not confident enough for me to be plugging merch. Okay, if I'm coming out with merchandise, man, I want it to be quality merchandise. I ain't trying to just be around this thing trying to give you all a quick hustle. That's just not me, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm rolling out merchandise, if I'm rolling out like different items. I want to make sure that they got good quality. I'm not doing it, man. Y'all deserve better than that. So I'm working on some things right now. I'm collaborating with a few people, trying to get some merchandise and some stuff drawing up. And once we get this stuff all situated, probably it's going to be at the start of the Saints 2021 season is when you're going to start seeing merchandise. But right now, man, I'm not comfortable to a point where I'm not comfortable with the quality and you know what I'm saying, of the merchandise. And I'm definitely not happy or satisfied with the consistency of me being able to do it right now. Okay, I'm not. I wouldn't be satisfied with it. I wouldn't be satisfied with the quality. Wouldn't be satisfied with the results. So I want to make sure that I give you all the best. What do you think about Sam Ehlinger in the late rounds, TJ? Well, I like Sam Ehlinger, the Texas quarterback. I think he's a leader. I think he tries hard. I think that in the right system, he might be a serviceable quarterback. And he's definitely going to be a lifer, you know what I'm saying, in the National Football League. To me, he's he's more of a career backup. I mean, he could prove me wrong, but I think he's going to be like a Colt McCoy type, you know, a guy that's going to be around the league for a long time. He's going to be holding a lot of clipboards, in my opinion, but, you know, I think that he's going to be one of those guys that be in the NFL for a long time, and he's probably going to transition to being a coach when it's all said and done. Do we keep Sanders wide receiver or lose him to free agents? You keep him. You kidding? Like, Emmanuel Sanders, like, you talking about turning chicken-ish into chicken salad on several occasions. Like, those wobbly ducks that Taysom was throwing in the air, that guy was catching everything. You definitely keep Emmanuel Sanders. I think Sanders has 3 years on his contract, 2 years left, but they better keep him. They better keep him. Yeah, rest in peace, Vincent Jackson. Yeah, absolutely, man. I forgot to even mention this, and I'll go into longer details on the next show about Vincent Jackson, man. I might launch something, but rest in peace to Vincent Jackson. I'll talk about his career, and you know, we got some Buck fans here on the show. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know about Vincent Jackson. I couldn't stand Vincent Jackson. Him being in the same division as the Saints, he would give the Saints cornerbacks and safeties fit. A young Patrick Robinson stayed getting roasted and toasted by that boy. He was 6'5", about 235, 240. Everything that I heard about Vincent Jackson was all positive. He was a 4-time NFL Man of the Year candidate, nominee. He did a lot of things in the community. But I'm pretty sure, he had some issues, man, like with most football players, you know, I won't say with most, but quite a few football players deal with, man. And I'm pretty sure it had a lot to do with those hits they took over the years. Dealing with CTE, you know. I mean, they can try to hide it all they want to. They can try to cover up the narrative. But you got to ask yourself a question, man. You got to ask yourself this question, and then we'll move on. How can a guy that was just so level-headed, so stable, family-oriented, towards the twilight of his life, and he was in a hotel, family couldn't find him, living in a home suite, an extended stay hotel, you know, and takes his own life? I mean, sounds a lot similar to another great, Junior Seau, right? So, I don't know, man. This CTE stuff is real. You know, that's why I talked about with Nick Easton. You know what I'm saying? I talked about that with Nick Easton on a couple episodes. I don't want to see Nick Easton play next season. I want him to make sure that he get his head straight. When you start dealing with multiple concussions and stuff like that, and also another guy that I'm thinking about right now, a former Saint, Brandon Cooks. You know, I think about him too, you know. Those are some guys that I think of, man. Like, these guys have to live way beyond their football years. I mean, Vincent Jackson was 38 years old. We have to make sure that these guys are taken care of, man. And look, I get it. Like, when Taysom Hill was on the list and he had concussions, and we were like, oh, man, shoot, Taysom don't play. You know, he not playing. But I don't even want to see Taysom out there. I don't want to see anybody out there going hard in the paint with concussions, right? Just so I can feel good about that. You know, they give the Saints a better chance of winning, you know. So that's unfortunate, man. I'll talk more in detail about Vincent Jackson I'll dedicate a whole show to him, man, because I feel like I feel like it's right, man. You know, I understand it's the state of the Saints, but Vincent Jackson, you know, I mean, we know what he was and the problem he was, you know what I'm saying, for New Orleans Saints. Shavandra says, what do you think about Quan trade rumors, TJ? Well, I don't know about the trade rumors. I heard he is getting cut. Look, Quan Alexander is a good player. Too rich for the Saints' blood, though. You know, you can $13 million the Saints can use. Okay, they can use $13 million, and I hate it. You know, he definitely was a difference maker being here, but it's too much money. It was too much money. I got everything coming on in the house. Got my vacuum cleaner coming on. Hold on, let me turn it off real quick. I set my vacuum cleaner to go off at a certain time. Got one of them robots. Let me see. I see you been on that bench, TJ. That way that t-shirt fit. Yeah, man, you know, you gotta stay in shape, man. You know, you gotta stay in shape. I don't know if y'all seen the video, man. I had Pac-Man, man. Pac-Man was out there working out with me on yesterday, man. He was out there getting in shape, man, trying to get ready for the season. So I got that up on the State of the Saints podcast Facebook page, facebook.com, search State of the Saints podcast, and also on Twitter at State of Saints, man. That was just too funny, man. That's one of those moments that just make you smile, you know, being a father, no doubt about it. The quality. Thank you very much for the $2. Said TJ ain't too sure about me right now. Exactly. Thank you very much. Yeah, definitely ain't too sure about the quality right now, and I'm definitely ain't trying to get nobody no trash. I'm sorry, like I'm not gonna do that, man. Like representation, you know what I'm saying? Representation is everything to me. You know what I'm saying? Like presentation is everything to me. You know. And I just feel like people try to do everything for a quick dollar. I don't agree with that. Okay, you know, like you want people to come back and you know and buy from you. You know what I'm saying? Like get certain things from you, like goods and services. That's important. So I want to make sure that I give you all great quality consistently. You know. Great show today, TJ. See you at the next live show, man. Yeah, we're about to wrap it up, Black and Gold. Thank you so much. Gonna read a few more and then we'll get up out of here. Aaron says, on another note, any word on the naming of the dome? No, not yet. I try to see, you know, I try to stay posted, you know, trying to get Rod walk on the show by the end of the week. You know, Rod works for the Advocate. See if we can actually ask him a question on that. And also, man, just trying to get some draft scouts on here too, man. I'm trying to work to try to see if we can get some draft scouts on here as well. And let me see. Oh, Jay is laughing. And finally, Saints Nation says, how do you feel about Alonzo? And I think it's time for him to go. Man. Like, unless they're gonna keep him on special teams, I think he wore out his welcome. Look, Alex Anzalone isn't the worst linebacker I've seen, but I think the Saints can do better. And I think they need to do better. I think it's time for them to go out here and try to put emphasis on the linebacker position. So. But that's how I feel about it, man. I would love to hear from you all. What do you think about the Saints' need in this year's NFL draft? And also, man, thank you so much for your comments, your donations. Thank you so much for your time here on the State of the Saints podcast, brought to you once again by Manscaped. Check out manscaped.com. Use the promo code State of Saints. You'll save 20% on your purchase. And I'm also doing a contest where if you purchase Manscaped items, rather it's a cheap item or you're paying for a whole set. If you snapshot me the picture you using the promo code, you would get a gift courtesy of the State of the Saints podcast. So, help the brother out, man. Manscaped, they put a lot of confidence in your boy. They like the channel, but you gotta give a little to get a little. And I'm asking you all to give me a little help on that. If you can, check out the merchandise. I'm not asking people to, break an arm or a leg or two backs, to purchase things. But if it's something that you're into, like don't just purchase something like, I'm gonna support TJ. Look on the site. If you like what you see, purchase it. If not, I'm okay with it too, man. But you all have really made this show successful to a point where people are actually, reaching out and, want to be a partner here on the State of the Saints podcast. And I appreciate it, man. So shouts out to Manscaped. Shouts out to you all. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. Also, facebook.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. And previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM. Also, check out the TJ Knows Wrestling podcast available right now on YouTube, youtube.com, search TJ Knows Wrestling. And thank you all so much, man. Have a good and productive day. Enjoy your day, man. Like I said, if you're in cold areas, ice on the ground, please stay in the house. I don't want to see anybody slipping and sliding all over the road, okay? Just stay in the house. I understand people getting cabin fever right around this time, but look, it's better to be safe than sorry, all right? Much love to you all. I'll see you next time. And like always, all I got to say is, who dat?